just saying there's a big
Every
painting.
time they go into BTS, there's this big painting of all of them. It's
like
they want like $1,200 for it.
that's ridiculous.
We haven't like
The $1,200 painting at
we haven't
BTS.
asked if they would go down on it. It's huge though.
You got the dog?
Yep, that's the dog.
Okay, that's important. I bought this thing at a thrift store, and then we realized that the girls had sort of matching, you know, outfits and style and all that kind of stuff, so that the plates and the picture will just be one big thing, even though I didn't paint it. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do with him. He was a big, this is actually an old record of mine and stuff like that. And we sort of thought that those funny, weird shoes were like part of an installation for David Bowie. But you have to go somewhere and have a place to put it, and then, you know, put this, you know, individual things together. I've actually bought them all at one place. And they had all these different heads and stuff. I bought as heads, right? And then I got the background with the people and stuff like that. And so the whole thing becomes what's called family resemblance. It just hangs on the wall. It's funky, but it's sort of charming. And in here there's more stuff. There's all these things back here that all have squashed cans on them of one kind or another. And this is kind of like a weird riff on Kennedy from him, where he went to went Cambridge, and you know, he was a prep guy before he became president. And these are all about, these are mostly out of squashed cans. The rest of them are woven into them. And I have some, like this is one. This is a real pretty one, but I need to send it somewhere. But it's like a modern art thing, and it has a chair and a nice picture and all that kind of stuff, and it has this thing is one of those things that you put olives on. So usually they're pretty straightforward, except for there's usually a little twist of one kind or another. This one hasn't gone anywhere yet, really. I have a number of these sort of pieces that all go together like timeless beauty, and some of them are like these, you know, the ones with gold and you know, things that are sort of like, you know, hark back to when everybody had gold frames and velvet, and you know, I like that. Does that help? So, and some of these are funky, like the cat and the dog, and you know, they're all kind of funky looking. Some of it's done, and some of it's like history, and I also have, you know, various kinds of prints and it's kind of funky, but it's actually sort of amusing, and eventually I get to the point where I have things that I can make out of almost anything. I'm always looking for things that I can, you know, glue on or make something out of or whatever. But I can't tell in advance what I'm going to do. I find frames too, yeah, but I mostly, at this point in my career, I mostly get them made so that they're not too, you know, so, you know, hinky, as in, you know, they're not like them. This one might even be wallpaper. But it's wallpaper with stamps. Pretty good, huh? So this one will probably become a background where I'll glue something on it. It's too hot to handle. It's just, it's like an old photograph that I found somewhere, you know, and it was all torn, and it was, you know, this is really like the old thing, and I had this old pot holder, and I glued it over the face, and it became too hot to handle.
Next for 50, one more. Here. One for each of us.
Unusual and not particularly expensive and evocative in terms of that anybody would understand what they were looking at and how, you know, and they would know immediately what the things were, and so you don't have to be a genius to figure it out. Smooth that one. Okay. And these are my, you know, these are my tools and my you know, things I use to make things and color them and stuff like that. And some of these are objects, like this one is high art, low life on the ironing board. And this is a big European one that's sort of silly, which is swashbuckler, which is this one. And let's see. Oh, and there's one under there too. The one that says man underneath it. So with the Stallone under it. So I'm on a needlepoint binge because of this one, and that one, and this one, and that one, and let's see, and these two. And the one down there. This one's Disneyland and the watchtower inflated here. Well, this one is that train that runs through Disneyland, you know, with all the animals and all that, and people waving and all that kind of stuff, right? And Armageddon is like at the end of the world is being sort of predicted by the watchtower. So it's like, you know, it's like the happy characters on one hand and Armageddon on the other end. a creep, actually, but I wouldn't want to be quoted. But he's sort of a creep. He's real rich and not very sensitive, and you know, I don't know whether he's smart or not. He probably is, but he just strikes me as somebody who's you don't want to live next door to.
Wow, that's like a crazy. That's really interesting, Alexis.
It's just that it isn't painted is the good thing about it. I mean, you can just even put it on that. So those are all paint by numbers. Most of them have stuff glued onto them. If we could get rid of.
We've gotten rid of a lot of stuff on this thing. We got rid of a lot of stuff.
Kind of needlework, right? And all these different things like these and this and this one is like water in Italy, and this one is like a young kid that has more money than sense. So these are called needlework. And there's a whole bunch of them scattered everywhere. And then there's also a lot of stuff that's just like hanging on the wall, that's stuff that I made, and it's not going anywhere. It is. But the idea of having him come home and find his true love is probably good. He's probably been waiting, looking at her watch for a couple of years while you're fighting. Now, I'm colorful, so to give you some this is kind of magical. What about the falsies? That are actually photographs, but they're pretty weird. Like this old photo of a priest on a hill. You know, that kind of stuff. So, but that's not something I could easily assimilate into what I do.
Yeah, the scale of this photo is really strange. It's hard to tell how big
No,
this
it is.
statue is.
Because Alexis has an unbelievable amount of junk. Anything that you might never think of, we would have. So, and those, right? For the there's those two, right?
Yeah.
Just those two. Okay.
The titles of these plates are pretty good.
What are they?
Cricket's Trials and Lauren's Lovers.
Oh yeah, well, everybody's so romantic.
This is a soap opera.
Well, hang on either side of
Of this picture.
This picture.
So you can't see her face.
One on either side.
And then we're putting on the faces, putting things on that have faces on them and have color and white teeth and, you know, people in the background. So you can use your imagination. This is a paint by number that doesn't have any instructions. Yeah. Oh well. We're not going to find out, but it's a kind of a cool thing. Just the fact that it's there. And if this one, anything happens.
So taking a photograph of it and making a screen print from that, it might be, I don't know if you'll be able to read.
See, I don't think
Might get blown out.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
see how tiny that stuff is? You can't, it's just not gonna work. Not as a silk screen, because it's just so tiny. There's even, the screen and the ink will get flooded and it won't work. You have
Marina,
to
maybe.
trust me.
Oh, I trust you. I think it needs.
a valid concern.
I think it needs to be enlarged in a way where the text is still.
They have
readable.
a litho lab at La Vista, don't they?
Well, it's also could be, all we have to do is use a duster on it and let that crud go away. Feather duster. This. Always good for getting rid of anything that. Okay, let's see how much of it I can get rid of. Oh yeah, I knew I could get rid of this with a feather duster. It's just junk on the outside.
Black and white sheet clay prints.
Which one? What are you talking about?
The canvas sheet clay prints, all those black and white photos. You have an emerging series of vintage black and whites. And then
Where
you have
are the
stuff
vintage
like
black and white?
those ones over there.
Oh,
like
you
the
mean the
fonts
old
over,
stuff,
Yeah, the
yeah.
older stuff, right? And then you've got stuff like The Godfather and The Young and the Restless. Those things are kind of the same vocabulary. So I think like that and that, you know, Godfather and Young and the Restless go together in a certain way.
I like the dishes and the girl and the whole business though. I don't have any problems with it.
These are really.
I mean, you
We
know,
should get them framed like this.
like what?
Like how they're supposed to be framed.
No, they need to be big. Oh, you mean, are you talking about the plates?
Yeah, they make these frames. With
And
these
then to get it to
gold
match
border.
with the faux marble.
Oh, it's too cornball. And coming from me, and cornball, no.
We're trying to walk the line. I know we cross it periodically, Alexis.
That's why I like it.
It's worth money because it has the sticky, it has the zipper on it. It's worth a lot of money, you guys, and I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, it's worth $50.
Yeah, well,
All right, we'll save it for later then.
yeah, why not?
It's a monarch.
Oh, you're getting the butterfly?
Well, they are,
You have that other
the other Venice one has a summer
right.
swimming pool. So
I'm gonna grab my trivet.
oh, where did you?
I left it over by there's like a trivet.